So now we want to dive into emotional intimacy and physical intimacy too. In order for women, for instance, to be physically intimate with someone, they need an emotional connection. They need something that says, okay, we are together, we belong together, for the most part. I mean, there are people out there and it's wonderful that they're able to do that. But for me personally, and for some of my clients, they want an emotional connection before they can become physical. But there are people out there that really enjoy the physical without the emotional attachment. So don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with either way of doing things. It's just that today we're going to discuss emotional and physical, with the emotional coming first. So when it comes to emotional intimacy, it is about being able to share everything with your partner. It's about, not having any of those skeletons in the closet and just being an open book and being able to share those things. And when you're able to do that, you really are on your way to emotional maturity and emotional intimacy that nobody can dispute. It's just a beautiful thing, really, because you have nothing to hide at that point. At that point, you are an open book, and that makes you relax in all kinds of ways, especially when you have a partner where you can feel like you can open up like that. So trusting your partner is number one. If one partner trusts the other and the other doesn't trust, their partner, then, it's about learning together and growing together. And sometimes that takes a really long time because sometimes, like I said before, there's been some trauma and it can really take a long period of time. Yes. So like I said, it's about honesty, it's about emotional maturity, and so on. So then the next piece is the physical intimacy. Once you have that trust, once you have that respect for each other, and once you know that you're going to be in a relationship together, and there is some kind of commitment, or at least there is some hope for a commitment, then you need to start agreeing on certain things. So what kind of public displays of affection are there going to be? Is there going to be one? Because some people really can't handle the idea of holding hands in public or, putting their arms around their significant other in public. And that may be a turn off for some of you out there. You want public displays of affection, and there's nothing wrong with that. So go and get yourself somebody who is into that, or get used to the idea that that person doesn't want to show public displays of affection, as long as it is not because they're hiding something, but just because of their comfort level, then that's okay. If it's about their comfort level, that is okay. If it's about the fact that they may be hiding something, well, that is a big fat red flag that you need to be looking at. So it's about respecting everybody's needs for physical displays of affection in public. The next piece, of course, is respecting each other's need for sex. Some people get into a relationship and they are constantly having sex. Other people are into a relationship where it has an ebb and a flow. So there may be times where you have more sex, and other times where you don't have as much sex. And there may be times where, people are exhausted, people are in pain, people have just had a child, those kinds of things. Or there's been some trauma. Whatever it is, it's going to ebb and flow all throughout your whole lives together, or with whichever partner that you end up choosing and being with. So there is a difference between having sex and making love. When you're in love with someone, the having sex part turns into lovemaking. It's a very, very different experience from just having sex with someone to get that release that you need at the moment. Lovemaking is about so much more than that. It's a spiritual connection. It's a bond that will go on and on. The connection and the deep bonding will go on and on with lovemaking. So there are lots of different types of lovemaking, and you really want to make sure that you guys are talking about it first, because some people have been through sexual assault and that sort of thing, and they need to know that they're safe with you. If you are into alternate sex acts and all those kinds of things, different things, alternate lifestyles, then okay, you need to make sure that your partner is okay with all of that, and vice versa. So there are going to be times where you're going to want wild sex, just like in the movies. And there's nothing wrong with that. That is awesome. That is the way it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be passionate and wonderful and loving and all that. And it's supposed to be wild. And after having, a period of time together, when the honeymoon phase is over, there may be less of those wild days. But you know what happens is the love grows. The love grows to such an extent that when you do have those wild days, it is even more delicious and delightful than it was before. It doesn't mean that you have to have them all the time, though. It means that you grow into love, you fall in love, and then you really know how to make love together. No longer is it sex, it's a deep spiritual connection that turns into very deep and abiding love with each other. So there's more here. So I want you to read through some of this, do the summary, do the affirmations and the reflection questions, and we'll see you in the next video. Talk to you soon. Lots of love.